Welcome back, friends. Now in this particular percentage video we have taken the questions from CAT 2004 to 2007, and this will be the last video for percentage for CAT previous year questions. If you are the first time visitor to our channel, my request is kindly subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you can receive all the latest video upload notifications. Let's start. Number 1. Zakib spends 30% of his income on his children's education, 20% on recreation and 10% on healthcare. The corresponding percentage for Supriyo are 40%, 25% and 13%. Who spends more on children's education? So this is a data sufficiency question, and here in short I'll give you the directions. You have to select option A if the question can be answered by only one statement, any one statement. You have to select option number B if it can be used by either statement, and you have to select option C if it can be solved by both together but not either, and you have to select option D if it cannot be answered by both also. Okay, so let's begin. Zakib, there are three categories of expenditure: education, recreation and there is healthcare. So on education he is spending 30%, recreation is 20% and healthcare is 10%. Let's see Supriyo. Supriyo is spending 40% on education, 25% on recreation and 13% on healthcare. Who spends more on children's education? We are supposed to work on this children's education. Now statement A gives us information. Zakib spends more on recreation than Supriyo. Now in terms of percentage breakup, Zakib's expenditure is less, but remember this breakup 2025 is not a breakup of recreation, it is a breakup of their own total. So we don't know what are their totals. Okay, it seems on the surface that the question cannot be answered, because we do not have any data, but it's really a tricky one. Let's see what we can do here. I am assuming that Zakib's recreation and Supriyo's recreation expenditure in value is same. Now please check the method what I am using here. I am converting this 20 and 25 into a ratio, that is 4:5. 5 dividing by 5. Now if I want the recreation value to be same, my total ratio should be reverse of this ratio, that should be 5/4. Okay, if the total ratio and the recreation ratio are reversed, then the amount will become equal. By 20% into 5 is 100, 25 into 4 is 100. So like cross multiplication method, it becomes equal. Now let's see the information given here. Zakib spends more on recreation. Now let's take this recreation value we have done. We have to find out for education. Let's see this education. 30 and 5, that will give me 150. 40 and 4 value will give me 160. Okay, now if the recreation is same, then Zakib is spending less. If Zakib is spending more on recreation, this value may be less than 160 or it may even increase. It may go to more than 160 also. That means both possibilities are there. It may be less than 160, it may become equal to 160 and it may cross 160. That is why we cannot answer based on statement number A. Okay, it's a little different type of method, but I hope you are able to understand the explanation. Let's see number B, then it will become clearer. Supriyo spends more on healthcare than Zakib. Let's work it out for healthcare. Our healthcare values are 10 and 13. Going by the same logic, I will assume that my healthcare expenditure is same. If that is the case, my total ratio should be 13/10. I'll take this education, let me just write here 30, 40, Zakib, Supriyo. This 30 if I multiply by 13, it becomes 390. 40 if I multiply by 10, it becomes 400. If you notice here, if the healthcare expenditure is equal, Zakib is already less than Supriyo. So if Supriyo spends more on healthcare, okay, if his healthcare expenditure increases, what will happen to this education part? If you increase this particular, if Supriyo is spending more, if the value increases, then obviously this part, it will also increase. That means from statement B, we definitely get the information that Zakib is spending less on children's education than Supriyo. So only statement B is giving the answer. That means we should mark option number A. Only one statement gives the answer, not the other one. Answer will be option number A. Now let's come to the next one. Number 2. The length, breadth and height of a room are in the ratio 3:2:1. If the breadth and height are halved while the length is doubled, then the total area of the 4 walls of the room will remain same, decrease. These are the values. Let's write here length, breadth, height. What are our original values? 3:2:1. Let me assume some simple values, 30, 20, 10. Just for sake of easy calculation. What will be my new value? Breadth and height are halved. So breadth becomes 10, height becomes 5. Length is doubled. So length becomes 60. And I want 4 walls area. Now you know what is 4 walls area? It is 2 LH plus 2 BH. So you can also write 2H into L plus B. Correct? We don't consider the ceiling and the floor. The ceiling is LB and the floor is also LB. So that is not taken, only 2LH and 2BH. Now here your 2H into L plus B will be equal to 2 into 10 into L plus B, that is 30 plus 20. So that gives you 20 into 50 equals to 100. And here you will get 2 into height, that is 5. L plus B, length plus breadth, 60 plus 10. 70 into 10. I'm sorry, this is 1000, and 70 into 10, that will give you 700. So what is your decrease? The decrease is 300 upon the previous value multiplied by 100, which I know you can definitely do it mentally. Decrease by 30%. Okay, so let's move ahead. Number 3. In a particular school, 60 students were athletes. 10 among them were also among the top academic performers. How many top academic performers were in the school? So this is again a data sufficiency. Let me quickly give you the instructions here. And the instructions are like this. Option A, if you get the answer by A alone. Option B, if you get the answer by B alone. And here it is A alone, not B. It is B alone, not A. And your option will be C if it is either statement. Option will be D if you need both together to answer. And option will be E, both together can't give. Okay, these are your options. Now let's take the statements. So in the school we have 60 athletes, out of which 10 are also top academic performers. So there are 10 top academic performers who are also athlete. Fine. Now statement A says 60% of the top academic performers were not athletes. Now if 60% are not athletes, that means 40% must be athlete. Okay, it's an either or case. If 60% are not athlete, 40% top performer. We are talking about the top performer because the statement directly talks about top performers only. So if 40% are athletes, who are these 40%? they are 10. So if 40% represents 10, 100% will represent how much? 100 into 10 by 40, that will give you 25. Although the calculation is not required here, by concept only you can mark it, but just for explanation I am doing it here. So you can get the answer from the statement A. Now let's see statement B. All the top academic performers were not necessarily athletes. So it's not giving any data, it's not a relevant statement. What information do we get from here? I mean, they are not necessarily athletes, so they may be athletes, they may not be athletes, but how do we get the data or get to the number? How many top performers were in the school? It's not possible. So A alone is giving us the answer. Answer will be option number A. Let's move on to the last one. Again, it's a data sufficiency, and in this case the options are same as in the previous one. A alone, B alone, either of them, both, and both can give. Same options are applied here. Okay, so we have the data like this. 30% of the employees of a call center are males. 30% of the employees are males. 10% of the female employees have an engineering background. What is the percentage of male employees with engineering background? So let's quickly make the chart here. We have a call center which has total 100% employees. Out of that, male is 30%. So female will be 70%. 10% of the female, not of total, of the female have engineering background. So what will be 10% of 70%? It will be actually 70%, that is engineering. So the remaining 63%, they will be non-engineering. Now, what is the percentage of male employees with engineering background? So let's see. 25% of the employees have engineering background. Now if it says 25% of the employees, so out of 25% employees, 7% engineering are females. That means the remaining 80% will be 18% will be males. 25% are total engineering background, out of which 7% are females. So the remaining 18% will be male engineers. This is total engineer, this is female engineer, so 18% male engineer, and we have 30% male. So the question is, what percentage of male employees with engineering background? So that will be 18 out of 30. 18% male engineer out of 30% males. Easily you will get your answer 60%. Again I am repeating, answering is not important here, just the concept is required. We don't need the answers, just for explanation. So statement A gives us the answer, that is giving you 60%. Okay, this is 60%, kindly don't confuse it. 80, when we talk about 18%, it is out of total, and when we say 60%, it is out of males, and that is exactly my question. What is the percentage out of males? Now come to number B. Number of male employees having an engineering background is 20% more than the number of female employees having an engineering background. This is slightly tricky, because the student may be tempted to think that I don't know any number, so from where will I be able to calculate? Even though we don't know the number, please understand the question is also not for number. The question is for percentage only. So you can assume any number. Number doesn't make any difference. Whatever number you assume in terms of percentage, the data will not change. So we can assume the number also as 100, percentage is obviously 100. Now if my number of female is, let's say, 7, the number of males is 20% more than 7. So that is 7 multiplied by 1.2. That will give you 8.4. We know that number of employees cannot be in decimal, but that is because we have an assumed value of 100. So you need not worry about that. So if I have 7 female engineers, then my male engineer is coming out to be 8.4. And this 8.4, if you divide it by 30 and multiply by 100, you can calculate, you will get it 840 divided by 30, 28%. Okay, that will be 28% of the total number of males. Okay, so even statement B is giving us the answer. Now let's quickly check the options. We have it is not, option A will not fit, A alone not B, option B will not fit, B alone not A. The option will be C, either statement. A is also giving answer, B is also giving answer. Answer will be option number C, right? So that's all friends about percentage questions. I have covered all the percentage questions starting from 1990 till 2007, all the previous year CAT question papers which are available. I hope you liked this particular video, and the video is also included in my percentage previous year CAT questions playlist. You can check them from the beginning or whichever you like. If you liked it, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click on the bell icon, like the video, share it with your friends as much as possible, give your comments, give your feedback. You can also join our Facebook group, Perfect Study Facebook group. The links are given in the description. There are a lot of other videos also available, so don't forget to check out, and we will meet you in the next particular playlist that will be on average. Thanks a lot.